From a young age, I stood out from my peers, largely due to my family circumstances. This made me an easy target for relentless bullying, spearheaded by a girl named Amy. While I wasn't one to shy away from confrontation, I dreaded the thought of mirroring the aggressive and combative behavior that was all too familiar in my family.
Shut up!
So instead, I chose silence as my refuge, occasionally even skipping classes to escape the torment. One day, I spotted Amy and her gang not far from my house. They noticed me as well and wasted no time in resuming their relentless bullying. I fled, with them hot on my heels. But in a surprising turn of events, they all suddenly stopped. All except for Amy. My desperation drove me to find a hiding spot, as Amy persisted in chasing me. To my shock, she dared to enter our neighbor's territory, home to a formidable pack of aggressive dogs. The air filled with Amy's panicked screams as the menacing canines closed in on her, growling and barking. She raised her hands defensively, attempting to retreat, but the dogs were having none of it. Instinct overcame rational thought, and I exploded out of my hiding spot, my heart racing as I bolted toward them. My singular focus was on protecting Amy, and as I reached her side, my body moved on its own, positioning itself as a shield between her and the dogs. My eyes locked onto their ferocious forms, adrenaline coursing through my veins, and in a desperate act, I even found myself baring my own teeth in a futile attempt to intimidate these unrelenting beasts. My courage didn't work. The fiercest dog pounced on me, and I was enveloped in searing pain, all while Amy's cries echoed in the background. Later, as I lay in the hospital room, I came to realize a bitter truth. Amy had abandoned me to the mercy of those ferocious dogs. It was my neighbors who eventually discovered my battered form and urgently dialed 911. I chose to bury the details of the chase, the bullying, and my daring attempt to rescue Amy deep within me. Instead, I concocted a tale, a web of lies, suggesting that I had simply been wandering around and had stupidly provoked the dogs. Ironically, one silver lining emerged from this nightmarish ordeal.
This is definitely a Child Protective Services case.
I was whisked away from my tumultuous home environment and entrusted to the care of my grandmother. While she had her quirks, she was at least sober and genuinely cared for me. She was deeply shaken by the sight of my disfigured face, and her protective instincts kicked into high gear. She decided that the best course of action was to provide me with a home education, sparing me from the cruel taunts of the outside world. But I was just a kid, and you can't keep a child locked away forever. Of course, I longed to be outside, but I did my best to steer clear of people. My old bullies got nastier, but now we saw each other less often. But something was noticeably different. Amy. Even though she was still their leader, she decided not to bother me, never saying a word in my direction. As time went by, my old bullies kinda lost interest in bothering me. They were more into causing trouble, like vandalism and damaging stuff. It seemed like the guy with messed up face from the edge of town didn't interest them anymore.
Hey dude, what's up?
I preferred to believe they were afraid of me because I had grown both in age and in physical strength, towering over them now. Similarly, I had distanced myself from any thoughts or worries about them. Woodworking had become my all-consuming passion, capturing my focus and even adding a little extra cash from selling the shelves and chairs I made. This made me think about the future. If I worked hard, I could save up in a year to fix my injured eye. My grandmother loved the idea and shared it with the postman, the garbage collector, and even the pizza delivery guy. Rumors quickly spread throughout the town. Among the townspeople, the story went,
"That unfortunate fellow whose face was marred by a dog attack is saving up to restore his vision."
However, When it reached the ears of the gang, it was twisted into something quite different.
That ugly loser must be hiding a pot of gold in his house.
It didn't take long before they came pounding on our door, well into the night, scaring my grandmother and infuriating me. I decided I wouldn't hide any longer, so I mustered the courage to open the door and confront my tormentors head on. However, to my shock, they weren't carrying the simple weapons of our childhood, like sticks and stones. Instead, they had something much scarier. My heart raced with fear for my grandmother, and in that moment I caved and told them where the money was. As I stood there, door ajar, my eyes widened with shock as I saw the gang's leader herself, Amy, sprinting toward us. But to my astonishment, she jumped in front of me, shielding me from the gang, just as I had shielded her from a pack of dogs a decade ago.
Leave.
Her role as the gang leader was clear, and they didn't hesitate to follow her orders, except for one person.
Don't be foolish, Amy. We need that money.
I said leave, now!
Come on, he doesn't mind. He already told us where the money is, right, buddy?
Don't ever come near him.
Come on, Amy, we're already here. Let's get the cash.
Over my dead body.
As you wish.
It all happened so fast. They sprinted off with the money, my grandma frantically dialing 911, and Amy collapsing to the floor. I rushed to her side, gently lifting her head and meeting her pale face. She clutched her wound with both hands as if trying to shield it from my view.
I never hated you. We both went through neglect and abuse. I saw it in you, and I was scared you'd see it in me. That's why I tried to make you suffer more than I did.
I remained silent, holding her close, my heart pleading with the heavens to spare her life. Hi, I need to schedule an appointment.
Okay, and what's the issue?
I had eye surgery, about a year ago, and now my eye's acting up. I think it could be some jigsaw sawdust, but I'd like to get it checked out.
But the doctor can see you at noon. Does that work for you?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Hi, the doctor's coming in a minute and... Hi.
Hi.
I'll do a quick checkup and handle the paperwork. How long has this been bothering you?
Just a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just jigsaw dust.
Yeah, would work. I remember. Well, I'll clean it with antiseptic before doctor take a look at it, okay?
It stings.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.